Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Experience the Blue Light Code, Celestial Frequencies Designed to Awaken Dormant DNA, Expand Consciousness, and Access Higher Guidance. My name is Stephen Dunn. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and part of what I love about my work is getting to explore new areas for accelerated evolution, for awakening, for healing. We're going to get to explore a really fascinating area today with a woman named Nancy Rebecca. She's a registered nurse. She's a founder of Intuitive Mind, Psychic Mastery, and Blue Light Codes. And I think it's going to really reveal a very next order set of teachings around how we can access the blue light. So, Nancy, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to explore this topic with you.
Yeah, and I'm excited that not only do we have today, but if folks are excited and want to go further, that you're going to be teaching a brand new course for Shift called the Blue Light Code Activation that we'll share more about later in the hour.
Thank you.
So, Nancy, let's begin our time together with a little bit about your journey from a registered nurse into teaching the work with the Blue Light Code.
Yeah, so just, in a nutshell, I had worked as an intensive care nurse, finishing up my career as a hospice nurse. And in that kind of time as a hospice nurse, as I was exploring life and death, I ended up having a spontaneous out-of-body experience after a meditation. It wasn't a near-death experience, but it was definitely a spontaneous out-of-body experience. And the way that I explain it was when I kind of came back present in my body, I was suddenly sighted. So what that means is that my clairvoyant psychic abilities had opened up, and I had absolutely no experience with this, at that time. So that's really became that very first part of my journey. And as a nurse, fascinated with the physiology of the human energy field, I really started studying the human energy field and how illness impacts the field, how the field impacts illness. And that was really the primary portion of my work until 2017. And in 2017, I was meditating not on anything in particular, just having some quiet space for myself. And then suddenly I felt the presence, like the room filled up with energy. And because I'm clairvoyant, I opened my eyes to look to see if there was something there. And there were 12 very tall blue beings of light. And they were standing there, and at first I just said, "Can I help you?" I wasn't a stranger to talking to guides, but I was definitely a stranger to talking to star beings. As a matter of fact, that wasn't even part of my lane of work. My focus was on the human body. And I could hear kind of this high pitch shrill or sound. And then suddenly it's like, then I was given the message. And the message was, we need you to go to China to get the blue light prophecy. That was it.
Hmm.
There was not a whole, hi, how are you? Our name is, there was none of that. They just said, we need you to go to China to get the blue light prophecy. So the story is an interesting one. I did end up going to China. I did end up finding a woman found me, showed up at my front doorstep, who was Chinese and said she would love to escort me and be my interpreter. And that's how it all began. And out of that, I never expected to find a prophecy, but I did. And in that blue light prophecy was that the world was going to be very soon going to be going through a massive awakening in consciousness. Now, and that it would be starting in 2019. There would be a major surge of blue light, 2021 and 2023, which included a few little pyramids kind of splashed in there. I thought once that was finished, that would be my only requirement. But out of that has come, what I love talking about now, which is the blue light. Blue light, what it means, blue light plasma, blue sparks of light that have wisdom and knowledge, sacred geometry. I mean, the quantum physics world has opened up for me in a way that I was very unfamiliar with before. So yeah, and has my work really changed lanes? Not really, because all the work that I did before in relationship to being a nurse, studying the physiology of the human energy field, it's all merging together now as over the next several years, we will be stepping into a full light body. And so all of that information is coming together now.
You drop that as sort of like, oh, by the way, we're all going to be stepping into a full light body. I want to. I'm a little curious about this prophecy, first of all, because I don't always hear that about Chinese prophecies of a sort of an extraterrestrial influence coming in or a blue light.
Really.
So share a little bit more about like what is the source of that? How far back does it go?
So, um, so my friend ended up making arrangements for me to meet with Taoist masters. So I probably met with about 8 or 9 Taoist masters along the way. But it was at a Buddhist temple in Xi'an, China, where the terracotta warriors are located. And they have kind of in this gilded golden cage, well, kind of like a bird cage, it looks like, but it has the index finger of Buddha in it. And it drops out of the ceiling, like the ceiling will open up. I mean, it's just this grand, like palace of a place. And it would open up, and this gilded golden would kind of case would come down with the Buddha finger. And then they have this circular place where you can meditate. So you wait in line for your turn to meditate with the Buddha. And so it became my turn. I went to kneel down on a pillow, and it was instant. It was like a blue lightning bolt came right out of the ceiling. It hit the top of my head. I fell backwards. My friend behind me fell backwards. It took me a little while to come back, maybe 20 minutes, but in that time, the prophecy was there would be a full awakening. Now, once at the end of the day, when I felt like I had my kind of gathered myself again, by this time now there's 6 Chinese friends traveling with us. And I said, I got the prophecy. And so when I relayed to them what the prophecy was, they all got very quiet and rapidly talking to each other in Chinese. And then they all looked at me and said, this particular prophecy that you are talking about was written about 1,500 years ago. And
Oh,
I was just blown away. I
wow. And is the specific, so I mean, oftentimes there's sort of like these gentler energies and waves coming in. So this is a very kind of electric, intense kind of awakening catalytic force. Is that how this is the prophecy that this is unfolding kind of one by one, kind of getting this bolt of higher voltage energy?
Well, no, and I had never, I mean, I had had that sudden awakening, back as a nurse, 30 years before, but I had never experienced anything like this. And no, well, initially in those 3 big laser surges, so in 2019, they said it would be coming through the Xi'an China pyramid. I didn't think Xi'an China had a pyramid. I learned later that it actually does. The second one in 2021 would come through into Tehuacan outside of Mexico City. And then the third one would come through the southwest of the United States, at which time I said to the blue beings of light, we don't have pyramids in the United States. So of course they had a good chuckle about that. But each time it's like that bolt of lightning was going to come through the pyramid. It was going to shatter like black glass any stuck old energy in the earth, and it would begin to soften it and clear it to prepare us, the ground we walk on, to prepare us to start loosening up some of that old energy so that we could have a gentler awakening to the blue light.
So is part of the intensity because you were just like located near this pyramid, or is it sort of other people should expect to have a kind of a sudden blast like that as well?
No, well, I've never experienced anyone. So we're going on about 8 years now. I've never experienced anyone having that big of a reaction. That the bigger reaction seems to come up from the ground. And that was just those three surges. And since then, the blue light has been coming into the atmosphere. More blue light star beings are coming in. Many people are starting to have experiences with blue star beings completely separate from me. And then they find me or I find them. And we're finding out there's a lot of people in the world that are having visitations by these star beings. So no, it's a very gentle, it meets you where you are, and it helps. That blue light is, it's just all about truth, dissolving illusions, and it is about justice, taking, balancing out the right and wrong in the world. And so yeah, each person is met where they are. Some people will have accelerated growth, some people may not feel much initially, and then a couple of days later feel a big release. So it's very different. But no, I haven't even had a big bolt like that again.
Hmm. Very dramatic introduction, though. So at this point, you're just referred to them as blue beans or blue light. Do you have a specific sense of what civilization or what particular lineage these beings are from?
Yeah, I did eventually, and I have to say, a lot of time, Stephen, a lot of times people ask me, um, you know, who are they? Well, I always thought it was going to be a temporary relationship, but eventually I did ask who they were. They are Syrian, so they are from the, that constellation, Orion's belt, and the planet Sirius, and so they are from there. They're very, I would say they're more kind of Spock-like, where more Pleiadians are more creative and lots of compassion. And the Syrian star beings, very much, very benevolent, in their presence, and their love for humanity. But they are still very, to the point. This is what's going to happen next, next, and next. But
Mhm.
mostly my lane, what they are asking me to do is just to help provide opportunity for everyone to have an experience with the blue light, to learn how to work with it on their own, and then get in touch with their own inner authority, their own inner direction, their own inner wisdom, intelligence, as their DNA is awakening more. Intuition is just going off the map. I've taught intuitive psychic development at a professional level for almost 30 years. And the awakening that's happening to people really starting to get in touch with and trusting themselves even more, it's just incredible how that's been happening.
Mm. So the blue light is coming in. How important is it that we're aware of this or that we make a conscious bridge, or is it just also affecting everybody who's ready and in a sort of parallel fashion?
Yeah, that's a great question, Stephen. And I asked the same thing, um, because at times in our nature and our culture, we kind of thought, well, if we sit in a cave on a mountaintop for 20 years, we're going to be an enlightened being. But what's happening now in this accelerated time is that we are almost awakening for many people even without doing anything. And so, but the way that the blue beings of light explained it, said if you're standing outside and it starts raining, you're going to get wet. And so, and they said it's not selective. You don't even have to believe in spiritual things. You don't even have to um, have any kind of cultural background of, spiritual beings or anything like that. You don't even have to believe. But when the blue light comes in, everyone is touched by it. So if you choose to, oh, I'd like to be an active, conscious participant, there's a lot of rich material available to you if you
Hmm.
choose to do it that way. But if not, you're still going to, the blue light is still going to help you shed illusions. The blue light is still going to help you get to your inner truth. And the blue light is helping the world um, come into balance with right and wrong.
Hmm. You mentioned earlier that in a few years we're going to be activating the light body. So maybe share a little bit about what's been revealed to you in terms of what the end result or the pathway of this acceleration is catalyzing.
I think I'm most excited about this, although I don't have an enormous amount of knowledge. It's kind of like breadcrumbs for me. It's like, I'm given little bits of information at a time. But the information that I am getting now is over the next 3 years. We are going through an acceleration of purging. So just really detoxing, just letting go of old stuff. And then as we do that, more of the light of our spirit is able to come into our body. What the blue light is doing, it's already starting to awaken or activate the DNA. So we've got two strands that are the physical DNA of the body, our hair color, our eye color, how we're built and things like that. But these new strands of DNA that are they've always been there, but it's in such a frequency or a dimension that we really haven't had access to. Some people have. Some people have been able to access that. But it's interesting. And the reason why, Stephen, I'm so excited is because I always thought that the light would come in and activate our DNA and create the light body. But what they're saying now is our body is already of the light. We just need to go through the process of being able to recognize that, to release what's covering up those other strands, other dimensional strands of DNA. And then as we can have access to those activation points where the DNA might say, okay, we're going to turn on your telepathy now, or you're going to be able to start seeing the spirit world, or you're going to feel lighter, light-minded, light-hearted. And the part I'm so excited about is the knowledge. So it's like maybe at the quantum level, we still feel like we're in preschool, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to understand quantum physics, quantum healing without maybe even ever going to university. And in actuality, I think the information that's coming through might even be surpassing the knowledge that we already have. So it'll be, and even in the arts and music, I don't think that we can even touch the concepts. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it
Mhm.
unfolds.
You've referred to it as blue light codes, which codes always has a connotation, a very kind of specific kind of unlocking of certain patterns. And maybe share a little bit about why you use the term codes and how to understand the sort of the specific sort of activations that it's doing.
Yeah, so it was in 2020 specifically. So I'd already, um, I could see the blue light coming in once in a while, but then I began to see it was just pure sparkles of light that was just coming down from the sky. So to me, it kind of looked like blue snowflakes. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. And so then I went and looked out another window. I looked in my house. I could see them coming through my house. I went out onto the sidewalk. I looked up and down the street. So I was able to get that concept. Oh, it's happening everywhere. So I went into meditation and just asked the blue beings of light, what is this? And they said they are blue light codes. And the codes are filled with high level knowledge and the wisdom to work with the knowledge. And that they were saying that, like, not everybody gets the same light code. So they just showed me, like, if you've ever been out in the yard and it's snowing and a snowflake drops on your coat, and you can see the beautiful shapes and sparkles in it. Well, it's like that. It'll kind of connect in with your human energy field. And just like a snowflake, it kind of melts, like if it was on your warm skin. This is how they've described it to me. And then it kind of matches up with what your DNA already holds, kind of what you were born with, what to align with the concepts of knowledge you're going to be able to take in and align with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. How much is that? Do you like to have a cognitive recognition of what's happening, or is it happening on a kind of more cellular DNA kind of level?
Well, it's definitely happening at a cellular DNA level. You do not need to be conscious of it or have an awareness of it. However, for those who wish to explore it more, what I find when I have been teaching people how to work with blue light codes, it'll be like a symbolic representation will come to the surface, whether they're picking it up, the individual picks it up, like I have a feeling about this code, or I can see this code looks like this, and they'll get colored pencils and they may draw it out, or they'll have a knowingness about specifically what that code is. Or they can see it like I can. But here's the thing, Stephen, it's like it accelerated the growth of consciousness faster than I expected. And so it's like, okay, get a code every day. Let's get a code every day. And it was like almost impossible because the frequency and the vibration was so high that it was like, all right, let's just do it a couple times a week. Like we just had to dial it back because it looked like it'd be something kind of cool and fun. But then I realized, oh, this is very significant. This is making significant changes in our human energy field.
Hmm. You mentioned earlier about sacred geometry and that that's part of integrating or working with this blue light. Can you share a little bit about what you've learned about how to optimize things with sacred geometry?
Yeah, so it was really interesting when sacred geometry started coming through. So they have kind of given me, like they'll give me a set of instructions and then we'll work with it. And then when the sacred geometry came in, I was like, I don't know anything about sacred geometry. And I felt like I needed to go study it. But the part of how I work is I want to get my information through meditation and through spirit and, the blue light beings. And what they explained to me was that, so let's just say a circle is a sacred geometric shape. And this is exactly how they explained it to me, very kindergarten in a way. And they were like a cube, or like a pyramid. And so they kept it very simple, but there are definitely some more complex sacred geometrical symbols that some people may get, and they can draw it out. And I would not even know what to call it. So depending on the person, like you, Stephen, you might get you've been on this spiritual, path for so long. I wouldn't be surprised that you would get a very complex sacred geometrical symbol. But its purpose is to stabilize your energy field while your frequency is rising. While the
Hmm.
light codes are coming in and adjusting, your physical body has to adapt. It's like these different sacred geometrical shapes come in and kind of hold stability in the field. So for me, like Merkaba is something that a lot of people are familiar with. And so I asked the blue beings of light about that, and they said, yes, that would be a form of holding stability in the field while changes are taking place.
That makes a lot of sense. So in a way, the sacred geometry is sort of it's almost like a subtle architecture that allows things to
Yeah.
land in your body in a different way.
Yeah, and as your need grows and maybe more complexity that adds maybe a higher frequency, then that sacred geometry can shift. But here's the thing, if I can just add this that blew my mind. I've been working with this, gradually unfolding for 8 years, but I introduced it to, a group of people that had never done anything like this before. And it was like I handed them a bicycle and they just took off on a 200-mile marathon ride. I didn't even have to explain things very much. So when I went back and asked the blue beings of light, said, we're built for this time. We are built for this. This is not new news for us. This is, we do have ancestral starseed knowledge. All of us have at least one lineage of starseed DNA, and we're built for this time. We're ready for it. So it's a lot of fun.
Really great stuff. Well, your passion for it is very contagious. So
Yeah.
I know we want to do an experiential where people can really get a taste of this work themselves.
Yeah.
So why don't we do that now?
Yeah, that sounds great. So can I just explain? I'd like to explain just a little bit about how we're
Yeah.
going to do this. So what we're going to do, grounding is always a part of the work that I do. We want to get your field feeling really steady. So I'll kind of guide you through a grounding portion first. Then we're going to tap into blue earth energy. So we're just going to intend it's going to be blue earth energy. We're going to bring that through the field. And then we're going to bring through what I call the blue plasma, and the blue light and the blue plasma help hold light codes. And all it's going to do is just going to flow through your energy field. So some of you may feel yourself getting lighter. Some may actually feel you may experience some light code information coming through to you. But most of the time, this is just really experiential so that you can experience what the blue light, how it works within your own human energy field. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so if everyone could go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. And when I say turn within, I say it because as humans, we tend to always be scanning our environment so that we feel safe in the world. I'm going to ask you to imagine turning your focus to the inside of you and just let yourself know that you are in a safe place. Let your body know it's safe. And in this meditation, I'm not calling in blue star beings or anything like that. If that's something you choose to do on your own, that's your own personal decision. But let your body know that you are working with a blue cosmic frequency. And then say hello to your own spirit, your higher self. Even if you're not sure what your higher self is, your higher self certainly knows who you are. And ask your higher self to help you have an experience with the blue light, that you'd like to have an experience. Now, your spirit loves to be playful. It loves imagination. So imagination is it's how your spirit communicates with your body. So the first thing we're going to imagine is a grounding force that goes from around the area of your hips. And we're going to work with a blue light beam, or it can be a blue crystal beam, or it can be a blue tree with roots. And imagine this grounding image, whatever you chose, is going to settle around the area of your hips, and it's going to pass through the seat of the chair that you're sitting in, or the floor of the room, or maybe you're lying in bed or sitting in the car. Just allow it to just flow right down through the earth's crust. And I'm inviting you to allow this blue grounding energy to go through all the layers of Mother Earth. And we're going to connect. There's blue crystals at the magnetic core of Mother Earth. So you're going to reach all the way down and let your grounding sink in, intertwine, merge with the blue crystals at the core of the earth that help amplify your experience. This grounding not only helps stabilize your physical body in a balanced way, but it also stabilizes your emotional layer, your mental layer, and it helps stabilize your spirit so your own soul can flow through the cells of your body. So give yourself just a moment and set your intention that you're going to release any energy that may block you from having an experience with the blue light. You're just going to let it drain, just like taking the plug out of a bathtub. You're going to let it drain right to the center of the earth. It's any old, outdated energy. I'm sensing a lot in the solar plexus. Go ahead, that third chakra, let it just release any congestion there. I can sense you all have these beautiful hearts. Many of them are already radiating blue. And then you might have some mental energy around the top of the head. Just drop that down, your grounding. Beautiful. That's a really great start. Now, Mother Earth is going to send some blue earth energy to you. It's going to flow right up from Mother Earth. The blue star beings and blue light's been charging the earth for over 8 years now. So allow yourself to absorb this blue earth energy up through the bottom of your feet. Allow it to flow up through your ankles, your knees, your hips. Let this blue earth energy flow up into the pelvic area of your body. The blue light knows how to dissolve illusion, knows how to enhance truth. And so I call it a cascade. So allow it to just drop through your legs into your pelvis and then cascade all the way back down to the blue crystals. I call this an earth energy circuit. This is really great at pulling any old toxins out of the body. Now we're going to set the intention and you're going to draw upon the blue cosmic frequency, blue cosmic light that's coming from above. It's this kind of blue plasma you may experience that's just a little thicker. And within the blue light frequency plasma, are in these little sparks of blue light of knowledge and wisdom. For some of you, you may experience just a few. Some of you may experience more than a few. But I'm going to encourage you to just allow yourself to have an experience, not so much engage right away. Just let yourself have the experience. So let's let it just flow down through the top of your aura, the top of your head, and just let it just rinse through your whole human energy field and human body. Let it just soften, lighten, care for, share kindness as it just comes down through your head, your shoulders. Let it rinse down your arms, out your hands, down through your body. If you're familiar with the chakras, let it flow through the chakras, and then down each leg, down your grounding. And then you're going to offer a little bit of that beautiful cosmic flow of blue to Mother Earth as well. I can sense and I can see as you all are working with this blue light, there's a lot of thick energy that's just peeling away. Just let it just drain down your grounding as you get lighter and lighter and are uplifted by the truth of the blue frequency. Beautiful. So go ahead, thank your body for its willingness to participate. Thank your higher self for helping you to have an experience. And whenever you're ready, you can start to move your body around and open your eyes, look around the room just to make sure you're reorienting yourself back to the space that you're in.
Hmm. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So you said that you were perceiving more thick energy. So it's kind of the image that was coming to you is a little bit like a shower sort of cleansing your body that's sort of
Yeah.
with an
Yeah. The
energy
energy.
field.
Yes. Yeah.
So you just kind of want it like stagnant energy is just kind of moving through as a result of that.
Yeah, I could see that it was almost a bit gelatinous, just some heavy emotions, for example, and old heavy emotions. And as the blue light, I could just see and sense the emotions coming to the surface, just some thick old mucusy energy. And so once I name it, then it's easy for someone to go, oh, okay, let me let that go. And once that happened, I really saw the whole energy field really brighten up.
Hmm, interesting. And you said that we're in this kind of a 3-year accelerated process right now. And
Yeah.
so, and that a lot is coming up for clearing. Maybe share a little bit about how you perceive that in terms of clairvoyantly seeing that and the acceleration in terms of like what's working through people's fields.
Yeah. The word that keeps coming up is purging. And right now, where we are right now in this time period of the workshop, we're going through a real physical purging. We have been kind of going through kind of these phases of a mental purging, emotional purging, and we're definitely doing that as well. But in this time frame of the workshop, we're going through some real physical releases, and that's really releasing out of the cells so they can function at a very optimal level. The physical purging's happening so that it can release off the DNA that the participants may do have, so that they can start getting activated. So I do really encourage, that participation at that group level to really help support the physical shifts that we're going through. But it just depends. It depends on the astrological events that are happening. It can depend on mostly frequency. That's what I don't know a lot about astrology, but I work a lot with just pure frequency. And frequencies can be very dense or they can be very light, but underneath are all these threads that weave together. So we've been calling them ascension symptoms in, over the past few years. We can get a little headachy, you can get nauseated, you can feel a little out of balance or feel weak. The big thing is fatigue, but a lot of people are having these bursts of anxiety, um, anxiety and panic attacks, some depression. But recently, I've been hearing people are describing to me despair, where they're feeling that, and they didn't know that even despair is a frequency, and the
Hmm.
blue light's really great at helping to purge that.
Mhm.
And just how it does it, just you just meditate with the blue frequency of light and the light codes that come through. It's just I, it's it's super exciting because it's accelerated, but in that acceleration, our body still needs time to integrate. And that's
Hmm.
the other thing that I like to help the students realize. I know you want to be enlightened by Friday, but we
Somewhat
need to
an
take,
unrealistic expectation there.
but
So,
as a registered nurse, I'm really good about how do we take our body with us, because our body is not being left behind
hmm.
in this awakening.
Well, speaking to that, I wonder if you want to share a little bit about once you've done a meditation or an activation like that, then how best to continue that or work with that over the coming days.
Well, it's definitely, I encourage people to, of course, it's always going to be at the top of my list to meditate. But meditations means self-reflection. A lot of times people think meditation means I've got to get my mind quiet and I need to chant or something like that. But the type of meditation that I teach, I call it an intuitive meditation or an active meditation, because as you just heard, I give the mind something to do. The mind is focusing on crystals or blue light. So, but number one is water. Because once you're detoxing, purging old energy, then it's just like any other kind of detox. If you want to stop eating sugar, for example, you're going to need more water so that your body can work more effectively to flush it out. And so I encourage that after a meditation like this, but I also encourage doing this meditation or some similar meditation every day for at least 10 minutes a day.
Hmm. Well, I think this is a natural point to talk about your upcoming course, since it's a really extraordinary opportunity to go deeper in this work and to really receive it, anchor it, integrate it, and work with all of the different layers of density that can come up for purification as well.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed that Nancy has agreed to teach this brand new program for Shift. It's called the Blue Light Code Activation. Activate celestial frequencies to expand the wisdom of your human energy field. You can find it at the URL bluelightactivation.com, bluelightactivation.com. It's a 7-week course. There are no prerequisites, and it's just if you're intuitively drawn that you're welcome to join. So, Nancy, I'd love for you to share some of your intentions for what people will come away with from the program, and then let's go through the modules and give a preview of what you're going to be doing.
Okay, well, definitely my intention is that you have an experience with the blue light. We'll just keep it very simple, that you have an experience, because a lot of times that's what people want. They want to have an experience. But my intention is I'm very excited and inspired. I want you also to be excited and inspired about working with your human energy field, learning more about frequencies, learning that you are um, of the light, and that you can make shifts and choices and changes just through intention. So Ultimately, I always desire for my students to become independent in their own ability to get their own inner information and to be able to feel confident in their ability to make intuitive choices. I know that's a long intention, but
That's great. So module one is called Explore the Return of Ancient Blue Celestial Light for Inner Clarity and Grounded Presence.
yes. And so that's more of an expansion of what I was able to share with you all today. But we really are going to go more in depth about the different grounding frequencies, whether it's water or it's earth or it's crystals or it's particular frequencies. So we will definitely explore more of that because the frequency of the blue light is so um, high that it's really helpful to, yeah, to really get that anchoring in that first session.
Module two, Decoding Light to Awaken the Language of the Soul.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to introduce light codes and how you can begin to get information about what light codes are coming in for you. What do they look like? What is the wisdom and knowledge contained within them? And everybody has been able to do it.
Module three, Purify your human energy field to become a sacred receiver of light.
Yeah. So what I've learned over the last 30 years, but even more so the last 8 years, is that our human energy field, it is a receiver of knowledge on a constant basis. We call it intuition, but it's a receiver of knowledge and it expresses knowledge. And we are in this constant state of sharing knowledge with not only other humans, but with trees and with animals, with star beings, with stars, with mountains. And so, but our human energy field can get kind of clogged or thick with old energy that we either haven't been able to let go of or we don't even know that it's there. So I'm going to teach much more about, yeah, what they are receivers and expressors through this dynamic energy field of their aura.
Module four, Activate Dormant DNA to uncover the sacred blueprint of your light body.
Yeah. So we are going to go through the DNA strands and the genetics. We're going to work with the blue light to start to help to uncover what DNA light code DNA switches are ready to be turned on for you. So some will get turned on, but I'm going to teach you a technique on how to do that for yourself.
Module five, Awaken Ancestral and Galactic Memory with the keys to light body activation.
Yeah, so I've learned in this time that all of us have at least out of our paternal grandparents and our maternal grandparents, that at least one of our ancestral lineages has star seed genetics in that. And so I'm going to teach you a technique so that you can get that information for yourself, take you through a guided meditation. And the question that always comes up, what if I'm adopted? What if I never knew my parents? It doesn't matter. I'm definitely going to cover that in the workshop. And, but just in short, you have 4 sets on each side. So you actually draw from even more of a lineage. So yeah, it's exciting.
You have some fascinating information. So, module six, stabilize your expanding consciousness with sacred geometry and the architecture of light.
Yes. And so this is, we talked a little bit about that, but about sacred geometry. So you're definitely going to have an experience where you're to find out what your higher self, what your spirit, what type of sacred geometry is coming in for you. And then how is it stabilizing your field? You're going to learn how you can work with it. You're going to get your own information about it. I'm going to teach you how to do that. And then we're going to do a meditation where you sit in that sacred geometrical um, architecture while you meditate with the blue light.
And finally, module seven, illuminate your light body to embody your higher self in a conscious shifting world.
Yeah, so More of our spirit, a majority of our spirit is outside of our body. So I tend to say like 20% of our spirit's in our body, 80% is outside of our body. And that's what we call the higher self, the one that has all that multidimensional knowledge. Well, we're just going to help just kind of calm the body down and get the body prepared to start bringing in more of the light that throughout the whole workshop you've been really releasing all along, and then getting more comfortable with bringing more of your own soul's light into your body.
What a great program, and I feel like it's very aligned with everything that you've experienced in terms of the lightning bolt activation and the sort of the prophecy of the times and the accelerated horizon we're in to shift our
Yeah,
consciousness at scale.
yeah.
So again, it's all at bluelightactivation.com. I'll share a little bit more about it. So you'll get, if you choose to move forward, you'll get not only the 7 90-minute live sessions with Nancy, which are a great time to ask your questions live. You're going to get recordings of every session, both video and audio, which is great to be able to go back to and learn and really do the activations again and really anchor things in your own body. You also get word for word transcripts to work with, study, and highlight, as well as weekly exercise and practices that you can do at home every week. There's a community to support you and deepen your community around this work, as well as small group time to connect with other participants. And on the page, you'll also see a number of extra bonuses that are really very rich and deep. There's 2 videos from Nancy called Sanctuary of Truth, Blue Light Lesson and Guided Meditation. I'm not sure about Sanctuary of Truth as a bonus.
Yes, so it's much more about, it is about the blue light, and it is a explaining the different levels of the blue light, and then also the guided accompanying meditation that goes with it.
In addition, there's a second bonus, a 3-part audio journey from Nancy called Crown of Light, Journey into the Seventh Chakra. You want to share more about that, Crown of Light?
Yeah, I'm particularly excited about this one, the Crown of Light, because imagination is near crown chakra. And often we've got these beautiful, wild imaginations when we're children, but as adults, we have kind of shut that down. So in this particular bonus, I'm going to guide you through how to get that opened up again, how to get your imagination opened up again, because your spirit communicates to your body through imagination. It's helpful to have imagination so that your spirit can communicate with your body. So we do some healing around this to open up more that beautiful light in the crown.
Great. Well, that's a great extra bonus. And then there's one final bonus, which is particularly intriguing. There's actually 3 audio meditations as your special bonus if you sign up right away by midnight tonight Pacific time. It's called Galactic Awakening, Blue Light Activation Series. You want to share about that special bonus folks get today?
Yeah, I go in a little deeper into the light codes, a little bit again, deeper into the different levels of the light, and about that galactic force that we are all connected to. And it just helps really, I would say, bring us more into the current phase where we are now, a little more conscious, using these terms and working with the energy field of galactic light that is flooding into the earth at this time.
Mm. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of fascinating information in those and
Yeah.
also guided meditations in there. So that's the Galactic Awakening Blue Light Activation Series, which is your special bonus if you sign up by midnight tonight. So it's clearly going to be a very groundbreaking program with a lot of amazing personal benefits. We've kept the investment very accessible. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you can save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start September 16th and run Tuesdays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings and the transcripts in the community as well. There's some great extra testimonials from people who have worked with Nancy before, and you're in really good hands. You're drawing from 30 years of experience and teaching the further reaches of intuition and this work, and so you're really in great hands. And so, again, the whole program is laid out in detail at bluelightactivation.com, bluelightactivation.com. So, Nancy, we're at the end of our time. It's been really fascinating to get to dive deep with you. Anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering doing the Blue Light Activation Program?
Yeah, one of the statements that always comes through that I like to share is that we are always stronger together than we ever have been apart. And we have been, we've been coming through a phase where we're quite divided, this kind of divisiveness. And it isn't just here and now, it's been happening the last 30 or 40 years. And intentionally and purposefully, it there's been a purpose for it, for us to learn more about ourselves. Now I'm excited. I just really, from my heart to your heart, there's this kindness frequency that's coming in. We are truly stronger together than we ever have been apart. And I'm excited to be in the river of life with you all. And yeah, it's these times coming up are unprecedented, and I'm thrilled to share it with you all.
Well, thank you for your willingness to go to the leading edge of human. Some of it sounds like it just happened to you, but it's sort of like you're also willing to come
Yeah,
to the leading edge of human awakening and to come back with these beautiful blue light codes for us. So, thank
yeah,
you
thank
for your
you.
work, Nancy, and thank you for partnership, and thank you for your wisdom today. And again, if you'd like to go further into the Blue Light Code Activation course, you can do so at bluelightactivation.com, and you'll get the special bonus of the Galactic Awakening Blue Light Activation Series, 3 audio meditations when you sign up by midnight tonight. So thank you so much, Nancy, and thank you all for
Thank
joining.
you so much. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Many blessings.
Thanks.